if you got a girl, don't mean no disrespect, but thoughts of you rule my world. I even dream of you, I swear.
Hey y'all, welcome back to Happy Hour
Visions of
Talks
you
with,
My name is Ruth.
and I'm China. We've been gone for a little bit, but now we're back, just tapping into some of the current events going on, especially on the celebrity tip. One thing that has been popping up on my timelines, on my For You pages a lot, is the T.I. and King situation. Essentially, King is the son of T.I. and Tiny. He was raised definitely by his grandmother, but you have to understand he still had an affluent childhood, even if he wasn't raised like how we saw it on their TV show, T.I. and Tiny, The Family Hustle. And he's just been talking about how he didn't feel always heard as a child. Like, yeah, he might have been affluent or rich or whatever, but it still wasn't always easy. But a lot of people are joking on him and not hearing him out because it's kind of sounding like he's trying to make it seem like he's from the trenches when he's definitely not.
Yep. And then the video came out of him, going crazy, lashing out on his father and his mom. And at first, I was like, King, what are you doing? This is crazy until I started to do my research. And I just started to see a lot of videos of his older sister, Zani, talking about the same thing he was going through, how her mother was absent sometimes and he will be outside. So basically, I just feel like King is lashing out just to be heard, seen, and valued. And I also, what's sad is, while I was doing some research, there was an interview with King and Funny Marco. And King was just like downplaying himself. He was talking about his own looks, saying how he was like ugly, this, that, and the third. And of course, at someone at that age, you're gonna take offense to stuff like that and you're gonna lash out in some way. And he did that and everyone was just confused. But there's like deeper rooted, internal struggles that he's going with. So
For sure. And we're hearing all of the children verbalize the same thing. Damani, Messiah, Zani, Deja, they're pretty much all saying the same thing, that what you saw on VH1 was not their everyday life. Um, what, 2 out of 6 are the only ones, well, 3 out of 6 at this point. They have a youngest one, Harris, but 3 out of 6 or 7 are the main ones that are Tiny and Ti's kids. So the other ones that have different parents, they're like, that was not our reality. But even for the ones that are Tiny and Ti's kids, they're staying with other members of the family, because I actually saw where it seems like Harris and, was it Major? The other youngest one. They stayed with their auntie. I guess that was Ti's sister, Auntie Precious, a lot. So we're just hearing it like everyone's staying with other people, and I think they're just trying to drive it home to us. Like, yeah, we might have been taken care of financially, but it just wasn't easy. And I kind of felt bad for King. I think he's misunderstood. I do think he goes about things the wrong way, but I think he's just misunderstood. He wants to feel heard.
and this is how you know money isn't everything. So I know some parents, they work really hard to have a really nice lifestyle to provide for their kids, but if you're not there for them, is the money really worth it? Is the clout worth it? So,
Exactly.
and in this case, is not at all.
hmm But I know we'll continue to see things. I don't know. It kind of seems there's some controversy surrounding Ti and Tiny. Perhaps their marital affairs and things of the sort. So I think we're gonna see things become. I think King's going to spill the beans, basically. I think he's going to start talking a lot more about maybe some of the weird things he saw growing up. So we'll just kind of be keeping an eye, seeing how it happens. But I know ultimately this is just like misdirected energy because he just
Hmm.
didn't feel heard for sure.
And now social media is there. We can capture everything. And it's really crazy right now in terms of celebrities. So,
For sure. So I guess next, talking about discovering things, we've recently saw that Cassie had sued Diddy, and at this point they've already settled. It's been a few weeks, but When that news first broke, I gotta say, I wasn't surprised. I think there was tea on the gossip blogs for the last decade that, things weren't all right at home. Diddy was maybe in some nefarious, nefarious just situations. So I wasn't surprised, but I didn't think she'd actually go through with it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, I was shocked that she did go through with it, but now that personally the situation has died down, I think I'm not surprised about that. Diddy is a very powerful man and he makes things go away. So the way he was able to, settle the situation within a day and basically hide out, I feel like Diddy might come back 3, 5 years from now and nobody's talking about the situation, which is very scary. So,
That's so true. And I think that's part of the reason why I was kind of wishing she'd go ahead and go to trial. But I guess I see why she might, um, go a more calm route. But I definitely was wishing she'd take it to court. Regardless, she still started off a hellfire of cases
mhm.
and people getting sued, lawsuits, because now there's two or three or four other cases that he's having to go through because people are like, wait, something happened to me too. And, I know there's certain laws or certain penal codes that are about to expire. So they're like, let me capitalize on this before it does. And not even capitalize, but let me go ahead and tell my truth, before he gets away.
I'm not a lawyer, but with that, Cassie cannot be like an evidence, right? Like she cannot talk about the situation anymore.
Right, that's
So
right.
it's just gonna be like those women against Diddy, and we know how powerful Diddy is. So it's just like I don't know, like this is just gonna be swept under the rug. So
Such a good point. But I think it's a different age. And I think that
mm,
people can only get away with things for so long. When it comes to cancel culture in general, I mean, you can argue that once people forget about it on the socials, once it's not being posted anymore, people kind of just go back to their normal everyday life. But I feel like we have seen situations where people have, at least on the surface, we don't know what's going on in their everyday life, but at least on the surface, been successfully canceled. We saw R. Kelly, we saw Epstein. Yeah, there's another director I'm thinking of, but we have saw where people have successfully got canceled for just doing malicious, nefarious stuff for decades and decades. And I think one thing that people forget, no matter how much money you have, how powerful you are, when you're that type of person doing all these mean, horrible things, you're making a lot of enemies. So sometimes there are going to be people that are ready to get you up out of here because they're thinking about what you did to them in 1999. So,
for example, 50 Cent, he is cackling, ready to expose Diddy. Yes, I feel like Diddy will sweep this under the rug, but I don't think people can view him the same way ever again. Like this has definitely impacted his legacy. So
mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, especially because Cassie, I think I'm not pretty privileged, but she's a nice, sweet, cute girl. So a lot
Mhm.
of people, like our community, they'll be like, they shouldn't have done that to that little girl. They have a tendency to do stuff like that, especially if someone's like attractive or stuff like that. So that's another thing. I was thinking back to Dr. Dre and just the hmm, how society reacted to hearing that he was abusive when it came to like his ex-wife versus like the new wife. And I was like thinking about colorism or featureism, and just that's just something that plays into it a little bit too. But yeah, I'm just, if
Yeah.
anything, I'm probably praying for the children and hoping that they're okay with all the allegations that are coming out against their dad.
And with these allegations, you see a lot of men in the media, their true colors. For example, Slim Thug, or just other people saying
Russell
like,
Simmons.
exactly, like there should be a time limit of when women can speak out. So we're seeing a lot of true colors with these allegations that are coming out. So yeah.
For sure, but you know anyways, I guess speaking of splits, I saw that Tiana and Iman Shumpert are now getting a divorce. part of me was surprised, but I feel like they've been separated before. But I was like, oh, maybe they're just taking a little time off and going through marriage counseling. But yeah, they are getting a divorce. It's come out actually that Iman was quite emotionally and mentally abusive, narcissistic, jealous. At the end of the day, Tiana Taylor is a star. You know, she might not have gotten her flowers in music in the way that she hoped to, but people understand that this is a talented woman. She's super creative. She's so creative. And, you know, even in moving on to her creative design and, you know,
Mhm.
stage performance organization or whatever, she's going to be talked about, period. And I feel like for him to hate on her light and that be part of the reason why they're now getting a divorce is so crazy.
Um, what is crazy is he was a really good professional basketball player. He was in the NBA for a few years. So I wonder if he has some feelings towards Tiana because his career didn't really live up to what it needed to be. And Tiana is thriving, but at some point, Tiana did give up some parts of her career to support, you know, Iman and the family. So,
You would
um,
almost, you would almost think they would be able to relate on that, you know, just kind of their career not living up to what they thought it would be, but them being able to kind of realign themselves, reposition themselves, and do different things. I mean, Iman raps too, I believe, and I think Tiana's directed a few of his music videos, and you know, maybe lent some backing vocals. So it's like this is a woman that for just I don't think that Tiana's insecure. I don't think she's dimming her light because she's insecure or she's easily coerced, but I think this is a matter of her just trying to avoid controversy and conflict, and she's like, I'll do whatever to make you happy because I don't want there to be beef in our marriage. We're, you know, we have these two beautiful kids, we have a partnership, you know, but the ego is something else. The male ego is something else
yeah.
that has shown its ugly head. So
Yeah, and I used to watch their show. They just seem like really nice, like best friends. Like, but also Iman is talented. He's a very good personality, if that's a word. He has good charisma. So I just hope he finds a career that suits him, and they're able to work it out because they are. Personally, I don't consider a lot of people goals, but they were family goals. They had beautiful children. They were dope, stylish, successful together. So it is disappointing that they didn't make it through, but no one is in 2023 as a couple. So
that's true. We're seeing a lot of divorces and separations. I don't know if you saw where Deion Sanders and Tracy Edmonds, that's Babyface's ex-wife too. They've been together, I guess, for the last 10 to 12 years, and they were had just been like engaged for that long. It's like he was never going to walk down the aisle again or something like that. So eventually, they went ahead and called off their engagement because I honestly think Tracy probably got tired of feeling like I'm just here as a
yeah,
not even as a placeholder, but just just because.
2023, I feel like people, especially women, they're realizing a lot. So that's what's causing a lot of this, like people getting exposed, things coming out. Yeah.
That's true. But I love that, and I'm praying good things for all the good
Mhm.
people involved, but it's just so crazy. It's like everything is just like crashing and burning. Oh my goodness.
Literally.
Oh, but anyways, I wanted to ask about your holidays. How was your Thanksgiving? How's your Christmas plans? I will say that I'm seeing an uptick of people just doing non-traditional holidays. So some people are traveling, some people are spending their holidays alone, some people are volunteering, or saying we're only going to give away one gift this year, or stuff like that. So
Speaking of gifts, I was just like, no one is about to get gifts this year in my family. I'm like, we're all grown. Like, I don't have the mental capacity to even figure out what people want. So, but I am back home. I've been here since Thanksgiving. And I don't know, a few episodes ago, I was just like, I need a break. Things are not feeling right. So I'm gonna be back home for like 6, 7 weeks and then go back to the city that I'm living in. It has been nice. When I first came, I was getting treated like a princess. My mom was making me food. But now that I've been home for a while, I'm starting to like be asked to like, wash the dishes, cook, like clean a little bit. And I'm like,
Fairy
this
tale is
feels like
over.
exactly I'm already over it. So and I like my independence. That's what I've realized. But I am soaking in as much time with my family as possible for the holidays. And yeah, what about you? What's going on?
For sure. So I have been spending a lot of time alone, reflecting and thinking. One thing I've just been thinking about is I will be 26 in about 10 days, is just how much of a whirlwind 25 was. Even though I spent a lot of it alone in solitude, just in thinking, it's just been such a time for actually come to terms about what I want, what I'm okay with, what I'm not okay with, what makes me anxious, what sets me off. And I'm just, with that, I just have felt like there's been moments where I've been sad or, unsure. And with that, I feel like it's kind of like my misery doesn't like company, right? So I felt like my decisions to spend some of my holidays alone have been reinforced by that. Why I continue to figure out what's up with me, what I want. Yeah, but I was talking to my bestie about feeling like I want to do more with like volunteering.
Mhm.
We have like a Thanksgiving, of course Thanksgiving is past, but they had like a Thanksgiving dinner, handing out dinners to the homeless, or I feel like angel trees have all of a sudden went viral on social media. So getting an angel tree, stuff like that, that's kind of
Right.
where I'm starting to go in the direction of just giving back, focusing on me, and I'm
Mhm.
thankful. I am thankful.
Amazing. Do you feel like the holiday feels the same or it's better with you, like isolated a little bit?
Um, so in some ways, I definitely have moments of sadness, like, oh, I feel like I should be around a lot of people, but in general, it's better. Um,
Mhm.
I just think there's a lot of like nervousness or unsurety or anxiousness. And it's not always about the people that I'm around, right? Oh, I feel nervous around these people. Sometimes it's just my own internal feelings as I'm working through everything, as I'm growing up, figuring out what I want. And I'm like, I need a moment to breathe. I just need to
Yeah.
sit in the corner and be by myself. But, when you are around a group of people, that can make things not easy. Yeah, I don't know.
Speaking of your birthday, you mentioned it is in a few days. So
Uh,
you turn like a different age, of course, and then you go into a different year. Do you feel pressure to like make, the next year as popping as possible because you're this kind of age? Like your situation is different from my situation, I feel like. Because you're like transitioning your year, your age, everything new.
it's all of it's wrapping up
Exactly.
sometimes, and I feel like that's one of the things that I'll text my bestie about. We'll talk about like New Year's resolutions. We're like, next year we're not doing any of that.
Yeah.
This is what this is gonna be. So yeah, sometimes it does feel like a bow on top of the on top of the present.
Yeah.
I'm just wrapping it the hell up, and so yeah, I think it definitely does. That's a great way to put it. I've never been able to verbalize it in that way, but absolutely. Sometimes I
Yeah.
used to get annoyed. First of all, I love being a Sag, but sometimes I used
Period.
to get annoyed with my birthday being at the end of December. It's like a week out from Christmas because it just feels like everyone is already preoccupied. So I didn't always feel like I made a big deal about my birthday as, because other people also aren't. But once I started saying, this is what I'm going to do for me,
Yeah.
this is what I want to do. And, I'll tell people if they want to do this, they can come. If they don't, that's okay. But this is what I'm going to do for me. So this year I planned to take a week off from work, go do
Nice.
some spa stuff, some self-care stuff, my typical, just upping it a little bit and
Yeah.
just take care of me. I've been shopping Black Friday, so I already bought my birthday presents for myself. Yeah.
Yes, again, my sister, she's a Sag as well. And she was just talking about how she treats herself like when her birthday comes up. And I'm like, that must be nice because you all have the best deals in terms of like Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I'm like, that's lit. You know? Amazing. But also, I do have off like the entire last week of December. So that's what's nice about corporate. Like, people are not really working in December. We're working, but not really. So,
And y'all shouldn't be. Take a break. That's one thing about it. They're like, the day after Christmas, they're like, come back. I'm like, who's coming back? We'll
who's
see.
coming?
But yeah, we'll see about that.
Yeah. So we're just chilling. And then next year, it's just like this year went by so fast, you know? Like, I'm like, I don't even feel like making more New Year's resolutions. I couldn't even accomplish some of mine this year. So,
And that's
yeah,
okay. You can continue. The
hmm
marathon continues. That's fine.
literally. Okay, is that it?
That is though.
Okay, well, we just want to thank you all so much for tuning in. I know we've been very sporadic this year. Hopefully, in 2024, things are more, organized. But yeah, it was fun talking to you all, and we will catch you guys in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.